Did Iceman flop? Now, I already know the owl is going to be in the comment section spiraling. Now, let me just say this. I think Iceman did what, 460, 450 first week, right? And like I said, to me, numbers are not the best metric to show quality. But I said the numbers of this was going to tell a lot because Drake is the numbers guy. So this is why we're covering it. Now, 450 for most people, most artists would not be considered a flop, right? 450 for the first week would actually be a pretty good first week. Would be for most artists would be an excellent first week. Would be shattering, insane. But the tail of the tape is a little different for Drake. It's a little different for Drake, and we're gonna look at it. But first, let's look at this and what the Iceman streams and numbers are really telling me. Now, remember when Iceman dropped, I said I want to see the first. The first week isn't really going to tell me. I said it's going to be the week after that and the staying power of it. But then the way with the numbers started dropping off in the first couple days, I went, ooh. So let's see what the people are saying about these numbers. I'm being fair. Like I said, 450 isn't an objective flop for anybody, but for Drake, I'll show you why it's not a good sign. But let's go right to here.
Let's jump right into these videos and posts where we have reports that Drake's combined first week album sales fell to record lows. And again, you guessed it, Drake stands are attacking Kendrick Lamar and also blaming his fans.
Now, if you hear, he said the first week fall to record lows. Now, I'm trying to shout, I know this person. You already know what I'm about to say. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to everybody who's been grabbing the Hip Hop Is My Bias hoodies and t-shirts. These is flying like the protect hip hop culture ones. I ain't gonna lie, this is going crazy. So I'm sending personal thank you videos, and I'm doing it for another day, for the next 3 days, for everybody who grabs a hoodie or a shirt. Link is gonna be in the pinned comment. You got 3 days. I would not sleep. Grab them ASAP, because it might be limited. Who knows? Back to this. My bad. That is the name of the channel. Yo EQTV, dope YouTuber, dope Twitter page. Go check him out. And go check out the full video of this on his page. So.
Context into what this company is. This is a pretty big platform where you can like buy and sell event contracts where basically you can bet on almost anything.
Okay.
All right, including politics and stuff like that. All right, but let's look at some of the comments because that's what I wanted to show you guys. All right, the first one. Kendrick fans talking about numbers when they were botting around town. And at this point, this is definitely sounding like projection.
The crazy part is like, I don't understand why, and you can't always... Different people are saying different stuff, but I don't understand how that the OVOs be literally out there tweeting like, yo, we're going to have listening parties where we go to sleep and listen. Yo, everybody stream this. Even if you're not listening to it, just keep it on stream. You guys openly talk about botting and streaming stuff, so I don't even understand. It's definitely projection.
Because it's the Drake stands that are constantly getting caught.
That Yo EQTV's talking about.
Doing some very sketchy things. They're out here organizing streaming parties to try to inflate numbers. They're begging the Barbs to go out there and help with streams. And this is all for a project they say they believe in and is that successful. If you're going to go number one, why are you going to these extents? And the fact that this Drake stand is using LeBron shows how out of touch they actually are. All right, Kendrick outsells Drake in every metric. Women lie, men lie, numbers don't. And obviously, it's been proven that you can flub the numbers a little bit. Even if Kendrick Lamar isn't out here outselling Drake, that was never the conversation, fam. The conversation.
Like I said, I don't really care about the reason why the numbers matter here is because Drake is the numbers man. Drake leans so much on the numbers. Drake, the standiest of Drake stands, lean on the numbers. So to me, that meant something to him. So I was gonna cover it. And like I said, it gets bad. Stay tuned. Not just the record drop off for Drake, but the numbers kind of tell something too.
Conversation was always about who was the better rapper.
And that's what I'm saying. It ain't about who outsold who. We already knew Drake was gonna outsell. Kendrick didn't even put Not Like Us on the album. Kendrick was clearly not playing the numbers game, because if he puts Not Like Us on that album, it outstreams this album. It does. It outsells this album. So I also feel like it's a little bad faith argument to be like that. Like Kendrick was literally not putting those diss tracks, not da da da. And of course Drake didn't do it too. But I'm saying like it looks a type what I mean. Like Kendrick didn't basically put the biggest song on there, so.
It's always about who was the better rapper, not who gets more streams, even though Kendrick Lamar did great.
And I will say Kendrick Lamar outstreamed Drake every single day. GNX outstreamed Iceman every single day but the first day, and that's kind of going to what I'm talking about.
Person to have half the catalog and still beat you for an extended amount of time, that's
With like what, four less songs?
pretty major, guys. All right, record low, still above some people's record highs. We'd love to see it. LMAO. And this is definitely another whataboutism. This person is totally missing the point. I don't think any logical person was out here saying that Drake was just going to disappear. But to come out and say his career didn't take a hit, man, you would absolutely be insane.
Okay, so we're gonna stop there. Make sure you go watch the rest of the thing. So let us go through the tail of the tape and the numbers. First of all, the first metric that I wanted to show that was kind of insane to me was in the first week of streaming, he almost got half a billion. Is my math right? Almost 450 million filtered streams. So that means 450 million botted streams got removed. And that is an insane amount of filtered things. And like I said, when it comes to botting, I don't know if it's Drake doing it specific, but this kind of botting, this kind of numbers being removed is top tier crazy. There are some people who will never stream the amount of streams that he got botted. That's crazy. And I feel like if this many streams had to be botted, like I'm saying, I'm not blaming Drake for the bots. I'm blaming the OVOs for doing exactly what they say out loud. This many got removed makes me feel like they weren't confident on this album either. Now let's really go to the tail of the tape that the main thing I've been trying to point out. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Now let me tell you something. They actually left out Sexy Songs for You too, which some people might be like, well, it's a collab album. So was What a Time to Be Alive. And just so I point that out, Sexy Song for You did 246 million stream or 246 whatever album sales the first week, 200 whatever streams, right? So that would make it on the lower tail of his album sales, right? And I just saw Her Loss. That doesn't even matter, right? That doesn't even matter how much it is. It's just look at this. And this is the thing that I've been trying to point out. Views is Drake's biggest album, right? Is Views the oldest album on here too? That's not even important. Whatever. Views, number 1. Scorpion, number 2. Nothing Was the Same, number 3. Take Care, number 4. Certified Lover Boy, number 5. More Life, number 6. Now, mind you, there's 14 songs on here. Let's leave For Her Loss and Sexy Songs for You, which it helps my case, but let's just leave those out, right? It's almost chronological if you pay, with some exceptions, but it's almost damn near chronological if you pay attention. There was clearly a point, and I think it was Certified Lover Boy, where Drake started getting diminishing returns damn near every time he came out. And this is before the battle. So Drake has been having a problem streaming. When I said we're not going to get the God's Plan Drake after this battle's probably gone, Hotline Bling, Controller, those songs, Nice for What, we're probably going to not get those anymore. And I said maybe after the battle, but it's like, if you look at it chronologically, it looks like just Drake is losing interest with the people, and it's been doing that for a long time. Look at this. Most of the halfway point is Iceman of the 14 albums. Everything below More Life or Down is diminishing badly. And here's why Iceman, being his 7th, counting these 14, most streamed is bad, is because there was not this type of eyes on Drake for any of these albums. For 1 through 14, and mind you, we're not even talking about the fact that Maid of Honor and Habibti are his lowest selling albums, according to this, ever. We're not talking about Drake in the moment of his career where he arguably has the biggest eyes. Remember, y'all, the whole conspiracy they're saying is everybody's against Drake. Kendrick went to the biggest stage ever and said Drake's name, which means everybody's paying the Grammys and not like. So the biggest eyes, Drake has been promoting Iceman for like 2 years with the TV, I mean the episodes, the most eyes Drake has ever got to end up being his seventh most streamed, and then his two worst selling is awful. It doesn't matter how you spin it. Now, you can always do the whataboutism and compare it to the field. But when you start comparing Drake to the field and you're no longer comparing Drake to Drake, that is you admitting that he fell off. Because before, we would compare Drake to Drake, not really the field. And it's insane. What I said, the story is more that the first day everybody was interested and went to listen to it. The crazy part is that, wait, do I have this? No, I don't have it. But there is a clip that showed every single day Kendrick Lamar has outstreamed Drake. Is this, hold on, except for the first day on GNX. And like I said, the numbers thing, but it shows that Kendrick is not the numbers guy. Kendrick is the person who's like purposely leaving out his biggest songs and stuff like that. And for him to be outstreaming Drake after the first day, and the first day is Morbid Curiosity, and mind you, we always leave out y'all bugging with that. We always leave out the fact that that GNX was a surprise album. Could you imagine if Kendrick was promoting GNX for 2 years? That's not good. I can't find it. There it is. Look at this. First day, he went crazy. And hasn't been a day since that he outstreamed Kendrick. Hasn't been a day since. Numbers wise, we out of here. You not keeping up. It's just not looking like that anymore. And of course, you could be in the comment section spiraling. I know the owls will. I know they're going to be like, only pay attention to the weeks. Don't compare it to the rest of his catalog, even if it's lower. It's like, that's not good. And I thought this would, and this tells me that the next week might be, and remember when I said the lasting power of Iceman, if it disappears, that's very bad. Now let's just go to what people, some of the OVO people were predicting the first week was going to be. 650, 600, 700, 575, 700, 700. So it underperformed even to what people thought was going to happen. Like I said, if you're just comparing it to the field, Drake did great. That is not a flop for the first week. If you're comparing it to Drake and you're looking at the numbers and you're looking at the fall off and you're looking at the loss of attention and loss of caring, that is a flop for Drake. When you put together the promo Drake had, the eyes Drake had, Drake didn't have these eyes for views, bro. Drake didn't have these eyes for Scorpion, and he was in the middle of the second biggest battle of it. Well, no, the Meek Mill one. He was in the middle of I was after battle 2. This was the biggest battle in hip hop history. So for him to come out with this and then Kendrick to be outstreaming him every single day, it's not looking great. I'll look for the copium in the comment section, but it's just not looking great, man.